Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.
Hello and welcome everyone. Let's go ahead and open up that Zoom room and let everyone in. My name is Ruth Ellen Sanchez and I am a certified holistic health coach. I'm the executive production manager of Daily with Doc, filling in for Rebecca Dukes, who is still on vacation, a much deserved and needed rest. So I hope you're relaxing, Rebecca, not working. Anyway, the Daily with Doc and Becca is sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. And before I get going, I need to read that thing. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available, and we're all about options. So today's guest is Adrienne Gold. And I've known Adrienne for a while now, and I knew her husband, Corey Gold, as well. So for the last 20 years, Adrienne has educated on the power of flower pollen, glutathione, superoxide dismutase, and other natural ingredients. Her and her husband developed the ProJoba line and brought it to longevity in 2006 with their very famous Pollen Burst. We all love our Pollen Burst. So I would love to bring Adrienne on. Also, before I forget, if somebody invited you to this program, please make sure you get back with them with the recommendations that are recommended for whatever we talk about. All right, Adrienne, let me get you spotlighted. There you go. Hi, welcome.
Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to the call. Welcome all of you who are listening in and watching in. Yes, we, Dr. Corey and I brought these pollen products to the United States many years ago, 2006. It's been a while. and have had nothing but wonderful results from so many people all over the place. And I'm here to share with you maybe some wonderful hacks. Today, we're going to talk about healthy sleep and how your hormones could be affecting that. So that affects so many people, and men and women, kids nowadays are having trouble sleeping. What can we do about that, and why is it happening? And I think the biggest problem when you try to go to your doctor or try to do some holistic remedies, there's so many options out there, but there's also so many reasons why you can't sleep. So it's hard to match a remedy with a problem unless you know where the problem is coming from. So that said, we can just try to be a detective and identify a few things. The first thing that you need to know is, unless you're eating well during the day, you're not going to sleep well at night. So eating well is very important. Pollen to the rescue. Pollen in our Pollen Burst products is organic, is hypoallergenic, whole food micronutrition. What does that mean? It means your body recognizes it as pure liquid gold. You just get it in your system and it works everywhere into the tiny little crevices of your brain, your body. It's a perfect designed food because it created plant life. Pollen creates all plant life. So we're basically encouraging people to eat their food before it grew. And when you do that, you're getting a lot of power, benefit, a lot of gifts that disappear when you go through the growing, cultivating, genetically modifying, packaging, and shipping processes of our food. We lose a lot. And then your body and your brain don't get fed. And then you're not able to do the normal processes in your life, including sleep. Your cells aren't getting the nutrition they need. A lot of times you're up in the night because you're hungry or your body's hungry. So the number one thing you can do is to help you sleep at night is to start in the morning. Drink a pollen burst, get that nutrition and get that meal in. If you're sensitive to caffeine, there is a smidge of caffeine in there, a cup of green tea equivalent. So try it out, drink it in the morning. Most people who are sensitive to caffeine, like myself, can drink a burst in the morning. It works all day. You don't have to drink it again for most people, and you sleep great, but it feeds you. So you need food during the day so that your body is not waking up with cravings. Your sugar swings are going to go up and down, and that could keep you awake. So food during the day. What else do you need? Focus and calm. So we have the Pollen Burst in a tablet without any green tea or caffeine at all, which is a focus and calm. So if you're having trouble sleeping, you love the burst, but you know you need maybe a second one, but you can't do the caffeine in the afternoon, take the Pollen Burst tablets. They're for a focus, a calm energy, and you won't have trouble sleeping at night, even if you took them at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. So that's helpful. And again, you're getting another dose of food and nutrients to help support your brain and your hormones processing. So that's number 2 for sleep. Your omega balance needs to be there. Omegas are also one of those calming supplements. And unless you're eating sardines and salmon 6 days a week, you're not getting enough omega-3. It's really important. We have a lot of inflammation going on, and that's another reason people don't sleep. They have pain and inflammation at night. In lots of parts of their body, they can't get comfortable. So one of the things you need to do to help with sleep, again, helping with your sleep starts during the day. Take your omegas, take your pollen tabs, and your pollen burst. All 3 of them are anti-inflammatory. So we're going to start taking the inflammation down during the day, which is prepping you for a good night's sleep. And that's why a lot of people who can't sleep, they grab a pill in that moment, or a sleepy time tea or extra mag in that moment. But good, healthy sleep hygiene starts when you wake up in the morning. and you get up at a specific time and you open the blinds and you get light. And that starts when your eyes see the light, that starts your melatonin process right there. And then 18 hours from there is when you start making your melatonin. So if you get up at 7, 7 p.m. is 12 hours. You another 3-4 hours, that's when you're going to be starting to be sleepy. So you don't want to get up too late in the morning. And that's what happens to people is they're up all night, they're exhausted, so they sleep in and they don't wake up until 10 a.m. Then they see the light. And then it starts this process over and over, and you're not getting out of that process. So we do need to start our sleep hygiene in the morning. And what will help us is, like I said, the Pollen Burst Tabs, which is whole food, your fish oils, which are not only calming to the brain and body, but also anti-inflammatory. And then there is another thing that affects our sleep, which is detox. Your body does most of its detox when you're sleeping. And if you have a lot to do, it might keep you awake. And a lot of times when you're detoxing, it's not in a bad way, which is why it tricks a lot of people. And they think that maybe they had too much caffeine or the cortisol is too high. Staying awake through a detox kind of, for a lot of people, just feels like you're wide awake. You're not nauseous, tasting metal in your mouth. You're not having all those symptoms. You're just wide awake. And so they don't know why that's happening. But a lot of times that is detox. A lot of women have that sleepless night right before their cycle starts. They're just wide awake the night before they get their period. That's detox. And many people don't realize that getting your menstrual cycle is a monthly detox. It detoxes stuff out of your body, pulls a lot of things out. So that is another reason why women have difficulty sleeping right before their cycle starts. So what can we do during the day to help with the detox? Well, we have a wonderful product, pollen-based again, called the Pollen Burst Liver Tabs. Now, the difference between these two bottles, the regular tabs and the liver tabs, is that the liver tabs have glutathione and aloe, and they're really great for a daily scrub of the inside of your body. And when you have a daily scrub of the inside of your body, you can keep up with the damage. It's like, when you have your housekeeper come and your house is clean and it looks so good and you just want to keep it that way, right? And so for the first few days after your housekeeping is done, don't you spend a little bit extra time like straightening up, wiping that crumb off the counter because everything looks so good, right? That's what's happening with your body is after that detox, you really want to keep up with it. If you keep up with your house cleaning, guess what happens? You don't really end up needing the housekeeper as much as you thought you did because you're keeping up with it. Same thing with your detox. If you keep up with it, you're not going to get this load of toxins that wants to release when you're sleeping, because that's what your body does. When you're asleep and most of your systems are quiet, that's when the cleaning crew comes out in your body and does the scrub down. And if you've got a lot of scrubbing to do, it will keep you awake. So one of the number one things I talk to people about is if you've got an overload of toxins that you probably don't even know about, or maybe you haven't gone to the bathroom well in a few years, then that can keep you awake because your body's working too hard. It can't get down into that deeper sleep if it's running around trying to clean up everything. So take your liver tabs during the day. So if you have a customer who wants to do this detox, the first question I ask them always, how is your sleep? If they sleep great, then they can take those liver tabs like morning and evening, twice a day. If they're already having sleep trouble, then that's a clue that they should take the liver tabs like morning and afternoon. And that will help a lot. So again, balancing your body and treating a sleep issue starting in the morning. Get yourself ready, not to worry about it. That causes a lot of problems. And I once had met a client who was a sleep therapist. And the one thing that he said that always stuck with me is that if you think about it too much, it causes the problem. So if you are upset that you didn't sleep, you tell your family members, oh my God, I had a crappy sleep. This happened and that happened. And you talk to your friends about it. You're complaining about you're starting to call it insomnia. That's not a good thing. And you are focusing on it. And when you go to bed at night, the first thing you worry about is, oh my God, am I going to sleep tonight? That's the biggest problem. And the one thing that he said that stuck with me is if you are resting quietly and doing your deep breathing and staying calm, maybe listening to a meditation or some nice music or even something, a calm sleep story, whatever it is, and you're calm and you're resting, your brain will get that rehab overnight. Maybe not as perfect as if you were in a deep sleep, but you're getting a refresh, you're getting a recharge, and don't worry. And that one statement really helped me and so many people I've told is that the more you worry about it, the worse it's going to get. But know that if you're laying there, you're getting rest. You're not running all your systems. You don't have to use your muscles or your heart racing or running around town or shopping or whatever. You're in bed, you're quiet. You're doing your deep breathing, you're doing your meditation. You are getting a recharge to your brain still. So it takes a lot of the pressure off people who are trying to sleep. And when they wake up in the morning, they drink their pollen burst right away, gives them energy. They get up at 7 or 8 or 6, whatever they time, don't keep sleeping until 10 and then not getting the light. The pollen burst, this little wonderful magic packet, will keep you awake when you need to be. Even if you've had 3 or 4 hours of sleep, once you drink your burst, it's not going to rev you up. It's going to feed you and support you and take down inflammation so your body won't feel as crappy or as sleep hungover than as you would normally. And it works. I've had issues sleeping without the pollen burst in the morning and with it, and it's a world of difference. It really is supportive, not a crutch. And that said, another thing that people have trouble sleeping is they drink too much caffeine during the day. And the ups and downs are crazy. And the more caffeine and coffee you drink or heavy energy drinks, the worse it gets. Then the coffee only lasts a couple hours and then you need another one. And then you need one at 5 or 6 because you're staying up later to do your taxes. And then now you can't sleep. So no more coffee, no more heavy energy drinks. Do the pollen burst and trust it. There's just enough caffeine in there, just a little, that will help you get over these caffeine rebound headaches, just enough to keep you focused during the day. But the power of the product is the anti-inflammatory action and the pollen itself. We do have an ingredient list. Many of you are wondering, well, why is this such a perfect food? Like, how perfect could it really be? And we have a list that we might be able to put up on the screen that will literally give you a snapshot, and there it is. So when you're talking about perfect food, you're talking about food that has everything in it. If you look at the screen, this page is literally over 187 micronutrients, and there's more that we couldn't fit on the page. That's what's in your bottle of pollen tabs. It's also in your liver tabs, and it's in the pollen burst packet. It's in there, all of it. And it tastes amazing because it's micro amounts of everything. So a lot of people will look at that list and say, holy smokes, that must taste horrible, right? It tastes amazing. People do not realize when they look at that ingredient list, which this is only a partial list, and then they drink it and they're shocked. Like, how does something that have this much in it taste this good? So I encourage you, I challenge you, don't trust me on it. Go drink one. and you'll know, like, oh my God, how do they fit all that in there? And you'll also have a aha moment. Your kids will drink it. How many of us have kids or grandkids who are not as healthy as they should be, or they're overweight? They're not getting the foods they want. They're eating horrible foods. Their taste buds are now off. They're craving things that are bad for them. And we need to get them back on real food. Well, giving them one pollen burst a day and maybe some tabs in the afternoon, they're getting back to real food. And their bodies might start adjusting to craving real food. And now knowing the difference, that when they eat a Pop-Tart or a cupcake or a sports drink with red food dye in it, which is supposed to be banned soon, they'll feel different. What a great way to get your kids off energy drinks and monster drinks and on the pollen burst. It's a no-brainer. And if your kid's picky about flavor, we got all the flavors. We got orange and berry, and we've got strawberry acai, which might be too fancy for the kids. I don't know. It's delicious. And the dragon fruit, I think the kids might like the best. It's the sweetest. I just did a test the other day. I've been drinking the berry forever. It's one of my favorites, but I like the dragon fruit, but the dragon fruit seemed a little sweet for me. So the last couple of days, I made 2 cups of one berry and one dragon fruit, and I mixed them half to half. So half dragon, half berry, that was like perfect for me. I love it. And the nice thing is it's a little different, so you don't get bored. Now, not getting bored, I should mention that. I have to say that we do have customers who've been drinking the orange pollen burst for 20 years, and they love it. And when we tell them there's a new flavor, they don't care. They just want their orange. So there's something magical about that orange flavor. And that's a testament to a product that really works. Number one, they still love the flavor. They're still craving it. And number two, their body's craving it. And number three, there's a reason why their body's craving it, is because it works, even 20 years later. So that's a very big difference when you're out in the world and you're trying a million different nutritionals, and some work really well for a short period of time and then they don't work anymore, and you try something else and you're switching around. After a while, your body does get used to things, right? But not the pollen burst. Like I said, 20 years later, people are still jonesing for their last packet and calling corporate and asking if they can get special FedEx because they ran out, and bumming packets off their friends and having a horrible day because they don't have their pollen burst that day. I had one longevity rep email me and said, my son just got on an airplane to go on his trip and he left his box at home and he's panicking. How do we get him a box to his next destination? And this is not just one time. I hear this all the time. There's something magic about the pollen burst. And the magic is really simple. It's real food. Like, we can't get that anymore. We're getting bananas that are green and then they go brown. I bought 4 pineapples in a row in the last 2 months and they're green. They don't even get to the yellow and they go brown. A lot of our fruits and vegetables are being gassed in a way that they ripen super fast and then they die. We can't even eat this food fast enough. And genetically modified, yeah, don't get me started on that either. So we're not able to eat real food anymore. And these pollen products are so unique. It's literally the gem, it's a gem in longevity that we actually have food. And it's very similar to Dr. Wallach's mineral blend that we talk about with longevity, is that we need the minerals that we're missing in our soil. But we also need the vitamins, the enzymes, the flavonoids, the carotenoids, the fatty acids, the polyphenols, all that stuff that you saw on that slide. All of it. And we need it in perfect balance. So how do we do that? Well, we get it the way nature intended it to be. We gently vacuum the pollen off the flower without using a bee, because bees are contaminating. We love bees, but they're junky and dirty and they go wherever they go. We can't control it, right? So the company that we use in Sweden gently vacuums off this pollen. It's hypoallergenic. The allergic part was removed. We get pure life force food. And all we do at Longevity is put it in a pill. We don't mess with it. Or we put it in a drink. We messed with the drink a little bit. We added some extra B vitamins and a little bit of green tea because people need that antioxidant and they need B vitamins because B vitamins flush out all the time. So we added that in to give people a little bit more of what they're missing during the day. But that's it. We didn't mess with nature. Don't mess with it. Our pollution, our society, we've messed with our food. And that's why, that's the power of pollen in the Pollen Burst line at Longevity is it's perfect food. We didn't mess with it. And that's what your body's craving. And that's why you get imbalanced. And that's why at the end of the night, you can't sleep. You needed all that. Now, another one thing I'm going to talk about is that we didn't talk about yet is there is another missing factor to sleep. And you know how we keep talking about starting your sleep process in the morning? This is another one. Exercise, right? So if you're not exercising, you're not sleeping well. End of story. You're not getting your body moving. You're not getting the endorphins going. You're not clearing. And, you know, exercise is part of a detox too. You're sweating, you're pumping your heart, you're pumping your lungs. We need time to exercise. And if you're a trouble sleeper, don't exercise at night. It'll rev you up. Do it in the morning. Now, some of you may say, well, you know, I got to get to work in the morning. Well, get up earlier or take a walk at lunch, take a brisk walk or get home at 5 o'clock. And before you sit down on the couch, leave, get a walk in. And here's the nice part about that. There are so many people who are so tired after a 5 or 6 or 8 hour workday. They get home. The last thing they want to do is leave again. However, if you're powered with Pollen Burst, either in the morning or at noon, and you can experiment with this. If you're a person who really wants to get up and take your walk or ride your bike or get to the gym right after you're done with your day, but you never seem to have the energy, drink a burst at noon. Or in the morning, it depends on the person. And at 5 o'clock, you will be ready to do more. You will be excited. You will be not dragging or not tired. So the Pollen Burst, again, inadvertently is helping you by helping you exercise more. And it's for people who do have difficulty sleeping, the morning time would be the best for exercise. And when people who are not exercising complain, well, when I exercise, I get really sore. Not on the pollen, because the Pollen Burst powder and the tabs both have SOD, superoxide dismutase, which is a fancy way of saying anti-inflammatories are in there. It's your body's natural anti-inflammatory. So no more excuses. You're going to get off the couch. You're going to get exercise. You're not going to be as sore or maybe sore at all, honestly. That will help you move your body. And the energy you'll have at the gym or on your bike ride or on your walk will be perfectly good energy for you to get out there. And that will help your sleep, because if you're not exercising, it does affect your sleep. You're not clearing, you're not getting the endorphins, and you're not getting your hormone balance. Sleep is so important. So I think to kind of summarize all of this, start your sleep hygiene in the morning. Don't wait till it's 10 o'clock, pop a magnesium and melatonin and hope for the best, because your melatonin started in the morning, right? And interestingly enough, if people come to you with sleep issues and you give them very few product, you give them the fish oils, the omegas, $20, right? You give them some pollen tabs, like $30. And you give them a liver tab, $30, and a pollen burst, $60. What is that? 60, 70, 80, but $130. And they're like, well, that's like 4 products and that's $130 just for my sleep. Now I got to worry about my nutrition and my energy and my anti-aging too. No, you don't. It's all in there. It's a nice gift to know that when you're doing the pollen, you don't need a ton. of a lot of things. I do think you need a little more calcium. Certain people do. And there's not calcium in this little regimen here. And you'll need more mag, morning and night. So you might want to get your mag. And it's nice to have a spritz of the, essential minerals. You can put that in anything. But this is going to help you with your whole life. It isn't like you're going to have all these pills for sleep and all these pills for your weight loss and all these pills for your energy and then a whole separate regimen for anti-aging. It's all there. The omegas, the pollen tabs, the liver tabs, they're all anti-aging you because they're helping you detox and helping you sleep. And sleep, the proper sleep will also be very anti-aging. So don't let your customers get overloaded and feel like, oh my God, I've got to do all these things and now more things. And they keep it simple because confused customers, confused clients don't continue. They need it to be easy and to make sense. And to me, ingesting pollen every day makes sense. I can see firsthand how our food is. I mean, I remember going to a restaurant a few months ago and ordering salmon, and I honestly to God do not know what that was on my plate. It wasn't salmon. It was something fake. It was crazy weird. And it's just happening everywhere. Restaurants are hurting. They're producing a lot more expensive food that is a lot cheaper food to try to make up their margins, to make up for world events that have been happening over the last several years that have hurt everybody. And it's not their fault. They're just trying to produce the best they can. Farmers are trying like crazy to grow the right foods at the right time to feed the world. And it's an issue. It's harder now. A lot of people are starting their own little farms in their backyard. That's hard though. Kudos to all of you who actually have property to do that, or fruit trees that are 20 years old and they're producing fruit. Because you can plant a lemon tree and it takes like 6 years to get a lemon. So you can't really have a growing farm in your backyard and get more than maybe one salad a week. So it's hard to do this, but I'm so happy that people are starting to do that to create their own food, which was what we need to do. But a lot of people don't have the time. A lot of people don't have the money or the property to do it, the space to do it. And having a little parsley plant in your window isn't going to make, 4 salads for a family of 4, right? So this to me is the next best option, is if you don't have the property or the time or the wherewithal, you don't have multiple plants growing to feed you all the time, grab your pollen. I mean, that micronutrient sheet says it all. It's all in there. And it's quick. You just open up the bottle and take it. We did all the hard work. All you have to do is take it and appreciate how easy it is to eat your food before it grew. And I used to talk about that, say that little phrase 20 years ago. And people were like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, oh, that's an interesting topic. Eating your food early, that's kind of nice. Now, when I say that to people, they're like, oh my God, where do I get that? I have to do that. Because they know now, they can see their food is empty. They can see that it's not right. It's not the same. It's not lasting. It's dying before they even get it in their mouth. And so they can see it. People can see that now. And they know the importance of eating your food early before it had a chance to grow and get ruined. So, and I'm not saying that every farmer is doing this. A lot of farms are trying really hard to go local. We have a farmers market here in San Diego. I go every weekend and I support those farmers who grow local and share local. But there are parts of the country, not like San Diego, California, where it's, between 60 and 80 degrees all year long, where you can grow all year. There's parts of the country you can't. So for those of you on the East Coast where your grounds are frozen and you have frozen cherry tomatoes on your vine, take your pollen. That's the best hack. that we've got is take these tabs and take the pollen. So I want to leave room for questions. If anybody has any comments or questions about, how much to take or, different age groups, I'm happy to help.
Okay, great. We do have some questions that came in. And yes, our ground is frozen. Today it's like 37 degrees and we had ice during the weekend. So it's yes, but we do have a good growing season on the East Coast, at least in Pennsylvania, which is very helpful. Thank you so much, Adrienne. That was very informative. And I love that we can, do our 90 for life, take our Healthy Body Start packs and get our nutrients, and then replace those sports drinks and different things with the Pollen Burst and get all of that extra nutrition. And they're a great add-on to our normal rituals. Somebody had asked, can I take my 90 for life? Absolutely, because you still need the calcium, the magnesium, and all of these other factors. Yes. So yeah, that's very good. I did have a question that came in. Where is it? It's off topic a little bit. It's about sugar. Denise is asking, do we need sugar or not? According to Dr. Wallach, he tells us not to use it. What is your opinion on that?
Well, in a perfect world, our ancestors didn't have a lot of this kind of stuff. They would just chew on sugar cane and that was all they had. So sugar is not great, but natural sugars like eating an orange or the fructose from oranges that come in the pollen burst, it's natural sugar and it's not adulterated or changed. And it's impossible to get sugar out completely, and you have to live your life as well. But for those who are having sleep trouble, I find that if I eat a little bit too much chocolate before bed, I could be up. So it could be that if you're having sleep issues, cut back on your sugar. Yeah, and I think cutting back on sugar is a good idea, and you do the best you can. But here's the problem. There's perfect world, and then there's us. So if your client is absolutely miserable and just needs a little bit of chocolate or needs to drink their pollen burst, do not throw the baby out with the bathwater, because you need to enjoy your life on the amount of time we have on this planet. And when you're not that stressed about what happens is people get so stressed about trying to eliminate sugar completely in a world where it's everywhere. Yeah, that alone causes so much stress and alienation when you're going out to parties or people and you have to bake special things or just like not have stuff. And that causes an emotional reaction, which also ages you. Yes, it does. There's a happy balance between getting it perfect and getting it perfect for you.
I agree 100%. And I know if I eat too much sugar, my joints hurt the next day. I don't.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
My mood is like super off, especially if it's been like during the holidays and we all binge on different things that we normally wouldn't eat. Yeah, my husband gets me a gluten-free dessert, but he got me 3. Like, I just wanted 1. I could take a little slice or a couple days.
Correct. Yeah.
But I love that he thinks of me that way. Takes care of me really good. So kudos to you, Jesus. You are an amazing man, and you have really, really stepped up, and I love you. Okay, so AJ has a question. So I'm going to spotlight AJ, and if you could unmute, that would be awesome.
Adrienne, how are you?
Doing great. How are you, AJ?
Okay, my question is not a question. Can you expound upon the importance of the liver tabs? And because I find myself telling people, get the liver tabs, it'll help you process your other nutrients better. Get the liver tabs, it might help with your fatty liver. Get the liver tabs, it might help with your liver C word. Can you expound on the power or the importance of the liver tabs?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not a coincidence that no matter what talk I do, whether it's weight loss or sleep or anti-aging or general health, these liver tabs are always in the conversation because in this polluted world, we need this body armor every day. So the number one thing is, this is like brushing your teeth for your liver. And your liver is what cleans everything else. So this is why you need it. It's going to be for a million reasons, but primarily we can see our bodies when they're dirty on the outside, but we can't see when we're dirty on the inside. This fixes the dirty on the inside every day, not just once a week, once a month, because we get dirty all the time. You know, you might have done a 60-day liver cleanse, and then you went out to a party where the home was newly painted and you're smelling paint for 3 hours. And now you got to start all over again. So literally, this is like, think of it as body armor for your life in this world, not only for toxins that you're eating, but toxins that are on your skin or you're inhaling, or they're getting through your hair and your scalp, everything. This handles all of it, but you do it every day so you don't get a buildup. It's like going to the dentist every 6 months and then not brushing your teeth until the next cleaning. Like, who does that, right? So this is how I like to explain it to people, because then they'll go, ew, I need this right now. So it's true. They need to have it because it's everyday body armor for whatever insults, whether they had a couple extra martinis that night, or they went out to dinner and got a little bit of food poisoning. I know in the last few months that I have experienced a bit of food poisoning from some food that I ate that I realized was bad. I wasn't throwing up, didn't have the runs, didn't get a headache, wasn't nauseous, just went to the bathroom a couple times, clear. Because I'm on this for 20 years. But you don't have to be on it for 20 years. You could just be on it for a couple weeks and it's already working. But this is what your body does when you get poisoned, and we all are going to get something. Foodborne illnesses are everywhere. Used to be once a year, we'd have that spinach E. coli outbreak. And now if you watch the news, they're like every day, here's the list of all the foods that we're recalling this week, right? That's different than it used to be. So you need this. We don't have a choice. And it's not expensive and it's easy. You don't have to ask your customer to, do this whole detox cleanse with the drinks and the living in the bathroom and the 50 pills a day. It's easy. So yeah, definitely need it. And the kids need it too, because they're getting toxic faster than we are. People don't think about it. They think, well, why do my kids need liver tabs? Well, they're small. They haven't been living on this planet long enough to get all the junk that we've accumulated, right? Well, that's wrong, because they were dumped into this toxic soup at 30 pounds or 0 pounds. They're 6 pounds when they're born, and now they weigh 35 pounds or 45 pounds, and you weigh 150, and you guys are eating the same burger. You're in the same room that's been painted, right? You're eating the same broccoli that has pesticides on it, and this kid weighs 30 pounds and you weigh 150. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to get toxic faster. So people don't realize it that way. So the kids need it too. So they stay clean. And that might help them with all the learning issues that they're having, because that's also toxins. So I just like to keep it simple and say, you need this. It cleans your body on the inside every day so you don't get a buildup. Buildups cause cancer, diabetes, joint pain, insomnia, on and on and on. Don't wait for the buildup to happen. It also causes weight gain. So it's all about prevention.
Understood. I remember having dark spots on my forehead, took the liver tabs, and they were gone. It's
oxidation. It's helping with the oxidation. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that too. So do a lot of people.
And
So,
hopefully some folks that have fat around their liver can use it and help them as well.
yes, we have seen people do the liver tabs, and within 2 to 3 months, they recheck their liver and their liver enzymes really start returning back to normal. So we've seen that happening for decades. So yeah, it does work for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, AJ. I did have a question come in while you were talking. Teresa said, for kids, is this one a day?
It depends on the age of and the weight of the child. Even at 2 or 3, they can take 1 or 2 tablets a day. An adult, I like to take 4. And if you really are trying to lose weight, or you smoke, or you drink alcohol, you should be taking 6. It's not too much. It's just the amount of glutathione that you need to help clean up. And I've been working with kids for decades with the liver tabs. You can crush it up even in their food. It tastes a little bitter, but the pills are small and easy to swallow.
Yes, they are very small.
Yeah. And one thing I want to mention about kids is that we mentioned earlier about all these nutrition, sports, energy drinks. We're seeing a lot of young kids not exercising, being on their computer, playing video games a lot. And that changes your brain. It also causes insomnia. And then they're tired and they want to finish their game. And so they drink the Red Bull or the coffee, you know, and it's just,
Right.
it's a never ending circle. One of the things that you can do with your teens is encourage them to drink the burst in the morning and maybe stop their screens at 10 p.m. and see if they can sleep better, because I'm shocked to see how many kids don't sleep. Teenagers, young adults.
Yeah.
And then what they do is, because they can't sleep, then they play their video games until they get tired, but that's a never ending cycle. So maybe they can take some of the pollen tabs in the evening, play a few video games, and then shut it down. You know, so just because, you know, the kids are changing what they're doing.
They really are. I mean, it blows my mind how much.
And they don't think about it like adults. They don't think about sleep hygiene starts in the morning.
Yeah.
Think about it. They just go, oh, I can't sleep, it's 10 o'clock, or it's cool to stay up till 1 in the morning, so I'm going to do that with my video games. And then the video games change your brain. It's a lot of stimulation and it keeps them awake. So we want to start changing those habits.
Right. Yeah, we do. I mean, I'm guilty of being up late and then I have to, like, I'll do it several days in a row. Well, I'm working on stuff and I'm like trying to get things done so I don't have to do it the next day. And then 3 days later, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm awake. I can't sleep. In fact, I had a nickname on here for a little while of Little Sleep Sanchez. And I'm like, you got to change that because I don't want that to be my nickname, because, you know, putting energy.
And it's funny because today's topic is sleep. And the first thing I'm talking about is Pollen Burst energy drink. Like, how is that helping you? Now we know the antioxidants, the fact that you're starting your energy and your workouts in the morning and then planning for, you know, 12 to 18 hours later to give you, and then all the caffeine that people don't need anymore if they're on the burst.
Right. I'm sensitive to caffeine, so I have to be careful because I've gotten used to drinking like decaffeinated coffee, which I would get organically decaffeinated, but I found out that's still not good. So I just stopped drinking coffee. But I mean, I love our mushroom coffee. Don't get me wrong. There are days that I need it, so I take it. And Pollen Burst as well. And I found a box of gushing grape because I'm very sensitive to gluten. That I'm super happy that I got that. And my son is absolutely loving the dragon fruit. And I could take anything. Anything, and he's drinking that, so that's really awesome. So I did have some more questions come in, and maybe they got asked. Oh, in the past, Miriam Thompson says, in the past you have said to work up to double dose of liver tabs or double dose of the Profem or Prostat for men to get a hold of symptoms. How long do you recommend the double dose before dropping down to the recommended single dose of liver tabs, Profem, and Prostat?
That's going to depend. That's going to depend on the person. The good news is your body will tell you. If you've got a man taking Prostat at 6 a day and he finally stopped getting up to go to the bathroom that second trip or third trip, and he's only going once in the night, and that's perfect, right? And then he goes down to 5 or 4 pills and he's still perfect, then stay there. But if he starts having to get up again, he might need to go back up to 5 or 6. So your body's going to tell you. Same with the Profem. With the liver tabs, it's a little trickier because everyone's getting different toxic levels. I think everybody should be on 4 a day. But if you're working in a paint factory, or you're a manicurist doing nails, or you're getting your nails done every week, or if you're living next to the train station or in a busy freeway city, you know, you might need to stay on 4 a day. And if you have a fatty liver, you might need to do 6. And then you get your liver tests back and they, oh, your liver enzymes are normal. Okay, go back to 4. And then you go, and when you get your liver checked again, they say, oh, they're creeping up again. Okay, then that's telling that individual person they need somewhere between 4 and 6.
Right.
So everyone's going to be different, but your body will help you guide. You just test it.
Yes, it is very important to listen to our bodies and be aware. And I think especially for men, because women, we have, you know, monthly cycles and we have hormone, like we pay attention.
We pay attention.
Not enough sometimes. I'm guilty of that myself, but men and women both need to pay a lot of attention to listening to their body. And I know that Hattie had a question.
Yes, I think we saw.
I'm gonna unmute you, Hattie, and if you want to ask your question, and then I'll ask another one.
Awesome. Good morning, good afternoon. AJ asked my question, and so I was greatly appreciative. I was simply going to ask if she could just talk talk a little bit more about how these liver tabs monitor, decrease your enzymes. Because I have a client whose enzymes are constantly going up. So if you could talk more about
the liver, when you get a liver enzyme test, that's just telling you your liver's struggling and having a hard time processing. Taking the Pollen Burst liver tabs is basically taking a vitamin support directly for the liver. So the liver gets more energy and it can work faster to get the toxins out of your system. Now, once you do that, I would recommend for your client to completely not do any smoking or any alcohol or any food colorings or any preservatives, filter and drink filtered water, reverse osmosis, not plastic, not out of plastic. Do the best you can with that, because what she needs to do is take away the insults at the same time that she's clearing up the damage on the inside. Then you get to a point where you're clean and you stay clean. A lot of us, you have no idea how much plastic we now have in our bodies. And I hate to joke about this, but we might end up being AI made out of plastic, because our brains now have plastic shards in that. Everything's plastic, and the heavy metals. So we don't have a choice but to start clearing it out. So I always recommend for someone who's still struggling with liver enzymes going up to, number one, share the liver tabs with their doctor. Not ask the doctor, hey, can I take these, Pollen Burst liver tabs? The doctor's going to go, I have no idea what that is. But you say to the doctor, should I take a supplement of glutathione? Is that okay? Many of them will go, oh yeah, that's good. We actually can give that to you in the hospital in an infusion. You can go to a infusion center and get glutathione infusions even. So they should know what that is, but maybe old school, they might not. But you need glutathione to protect your liver so that when your liver's tired, it's going to help directly to the liver process. Now, you make glutathione in your body, but as we age and as this woman is seeing, she doesn't make enough glutathione to handle the insults that are happening right now. So that's important. And that's what you do, you can always say, hey, can I take some pollen? Like the bee pollen, the doctor will go, oh, if it's like bee pollen, yeah, that's fine. They don't know the difference between bee pollen and flower pollen, but your Western medical doctors really don't have the time to be nutrition specialists. They don't have, that's not their area, and that's okay. Some of them are learning to understand a little bit more about the basics, like omega oils and this and that. When I first mentioned omega oils to my doctor years ago, and I said to them, I'm giving birth soon. Should I stop my fish oils? They looked at me like, what? What does that have to do with anything? But now doctors will say, yes, fish oils can be blood thinners. if you're taking a lot of them and you're having a surgery or a procedure, take a few days off. So now they're learning and they know they're kind of incorporating. So I would say share it with your doctor, tell them you want to take glutathione, or do an experiment and say, here's my liver enzyme test. I'm doing, 4 to 6 liver tabs every day for like 2-3 months, and then check it again. That'll be what's going to help you.
Thank you so much for that. So if somebody was taking 6 liver tabs, they can take 3 and 3 or 2, 3 times a day. They don't have to take it all at once, because that
doesn't matter. Yep. All good.
That might be better to spread it out, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Also, I know that when, AJ, you're going to have to bring that question out because I can't monitor that right now. Sorry. If you take your okay, so a friend of mine has been going through something, and the nurses would say, you can't take A, C, and E, So she said, to her doctor, why can't I take them? Why can't I take my multivitamin? So if you take the bottle, so they can at least look at it, then they're going to go, oh yeah, you can take it. So you can take it in a multivitamin.
Well, the problem with multivitamins is that there are certain ingredients, nutritional ingredients, that in higher doses can interfere with medications. However, we don't have that problem with pollen.
No,
it's teeny tiny amounts of everything. It's like basically, so it wouldn't necessarily interfere with all of that. So that's helpful. You could show your doctor that micronutrient sheet and say it's just food. It's just a food supplement, and there's not any large amounts of anything in there,
right?
Except for that 1 cup of caffeine in the green tea. And even pregnant women love it. I have a girlfriend who's 9 months, and she's like, I need my burst. It helps her with nausea, back pain, indigestion, everything.
Amazing. And I was talking mainly about longevity's
the vitamin pill.
Yeah.
The multi. Yeah. And I think it's a great multi, but I can see that could be an issue with your doctors because they're not equipped to know every single interaction.
Well, right. She has a good doctor. I mean, some doctors are like paying attention now more so. And this particular doctor that she went to realized that vitamin A, C, and E in a multivitamin helps absorb minerals. But if you're just taking it straight, it can be an issue. So, if your doctor's telling you can't take them, then take them the bottle of Tangy Tangerine and have them look at it. Now, AJ has a question, and I know we're getting close to the top of the hour. So, AJ, if you can bring in that question.
Yeah, ZZ Cap on YouTube was asking, since he really wants the pollen burst, and he used to have hay fever a lot. The question is there any relationship between pollen and hay fever?
That's a great question. I mentioned it very briefly at the beginning, but we ran right through it. The pollen at longevity is hypoallergenic. So it doesn't even matter what pollen we're using, whether it is from ragweed or from rye or from poppies or from magnolias, it doesn't even matter because the process that we use removes the allergic part. So not only do people don't react with an allergy to the pollen burst, their allergies actually get better because the anti-inflammatory of the SOD and the nutrition, the perfect nutrition, supports the body's strength. And we have people who take this for allergies.
Excellent. Thank you, AJ, for bringing that in. And then Kathy is wondering, can you take Pollen Burst and the liver tabs, or is it either or? And I'm pretty sure you can take them both.
You can take them both. Yes, they're not interfering. They're designed to be so that if you drink a Pollen Burst, like I'll drink a Pollen Burst and take 2 liver tabs and in the morning, and then I'll take 2 liver tabs and 2 pollen tabs in the afternoon, and maybe a couple of liver tabs at night even. So there you can't goof it up. It's just food. You're not going to overdo it in any way.
Right. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. And we really appreciate you being here with us. And there's always so much to learn. And every time, even when you talk about the same thing, you're talking about it in a different way.
Different way.
I love that.
I don't know, it just comes out of my head.
Well, you're amazing. You are. And thank you again. All right. So if I can get my co-host to come up, unless you have anything else you wanted to close with.
No, that's it. Except for just remember your sleep hygiene starts in the morning.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And I'm going to tell myself that when I tend to just stay up until 2:30 doing things.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm terrible about that. All right. So thank you for joining us, everyone. And Linda, I will try to get that to you. Oh, so Denise says, God bless everyone. Thanks for, or Dennis, I'm sorry. Says thank you. And thanks for the invitation to this old man. So thank you, Dennis, and everybody. My name is, first we're going to start with Kaylee, who is our student intern, who is helping us with stuff in the back end, and she's learning things. She'll be with us for the semester. And so we're really grateful that she is here. And then we have Marilyn, who is does amazing dictation, which is the benefit of being here in the live Zoom, is you can take a picture because we don't allow anybody to copy the chat, but you can take a picture of what pertains to you or something that will help somebody that that you know that may have that situation. And if you're a health coach and you're here, then that would be good for you to be able to show your client. And then we have Sherry, who is part of the technical crew. She takes what I send out on OBS and she's sent it out to several platforms, and she's a big help. And she also posts a lot of the stuff that's in the beginning of the show. So thank you so much, Sherry. And then we have Albert, who's in South Africa with Marty, who was in his backyard. Those are the kind of creatures that run around in his backyard, zebras and elephants and all kinds of things. So thank you so much, Albert. He is from South Africa, like I said, and he is on our phone team. So he is the person that would get your phone calls in the middle of the night, because right now I think it's close to 10 o'clock for him. Yep. And so he is part of the phone team, and he helps let people in, and he monitors things. All lets me know when people come in and stuff that I need to pay attention to as well. And then we have AJ. AJ is amazing, and they're all amazing, but he has helped us get on a lot of the platforms. So if you're out there and you're watching us on a platform that's new, it's because of AJ. So thank you, AJ. He's our digital marketing director, and he also initiated, helped us get this intern program going. So we have several interns that are starting to work with us, which is good because we can't do it all. We've tried and we're exhausted. Sometimes we don't sleep. So thank you for that. Again, my name is Ruth Ellen Sanchez. I am the executive production manager of Daily with Doc. And I also want to remind you that this show was not meant to take the place of your primary care. I can talk now. Primary care physician. It is not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases, and we do not make any claims, medical, financial, or anything else. So thank you for joining us. If somebody referred you to this program, please get back with them, and they will help you if you wanted to order something, or if you had questions or follow up. Also, our call team number is 855-949-3377. And I'm going to let AJ tell you what the number is to call to order Dr. Wallach's books, because I don't have it in front of me for some reason. I usually have it right there. You gotta unmute, AJ.
Yeah, everyone, this knowledge that we get is also encapsulated in some books. So if you want to order Dr. Wallach's books, it's 800-755-4656. and call and empower yourself and make sure you get Dr. Wallach's books.
Thank you, AJ. And tomorrow we will not be having a live show tomorrow, but we will be doing a replay of the doctor that was supposed to be on tomorrow, and we wish her family well. And so thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you live on Wednesday. And if you can watch the replay tomorrow, that would be awesome. And thank you for joining us today on Daily with Doc and Becca. And have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.